So a couple of quick things. I'm still looking at menus and all that kind of thing, but Lachelle's frozen now, but I don't think any one of you are like, you don't get seasickness, right?
Nope.
Okay. That's always a good thing to know. And then
I'll just pre-medicate.
Oh, do you need like the bands or something? The C bands?
Yeah, I'll do meclizine. Yeah.
okay, I'm looking at doing it on that Friday, but we'll see what they have for availability. And I can't decide if I want us to get up in the morning and go do it like for morning and have lunch on the boat, or if we want to do like afternoon. It's a 4-hour excursion. So
A 4-hour tour.
If it were my choice, I would rather work in the morning, get done what we need to get done, and then relax and let loose and have fun and maybe a cocktail on the sunset part of the cruise. If I were planning it. So take that for one person's opinion.
Perfect. Because they also, I think, allow us to snorkel and like get off and swim too. So yeah.
Yeah, because it would be hard to come back from that, being in the sun and relax, whatever, and then come back and turn our brains on. So I'd rather use my brain first and then relax.
Totally. We're going to do a lot of things by the pool in Costa Rica too. So those of you that are fair, Kathy, there is shaded spots, but bring a hat. And Lachelle and I will have the same.
I've gotten burnt in the shade, so it's like how like is there shady spots by the pool?
There's umbrellas.
And if we're sitting out around the pool, there's like an outdoor kind of open outdoor area that's covered. And then there's a covered
kind of like a porch
of a table kind of thing.
Okay.
And but bring like cover-ups and stuff that you can put on too. And we won't spend all the time out by the pool, but like I want us to move around the house. So okay. If you all would, please, I know I talked about this before, but if you would give some thought to what you feel like. Let me see what she says here. Some of your biggest takeaways so far, and some things that you've learned or done differently, how you've maybe seen some of your mind shift happening. And if you could drop that into the WhatsApp by Wednesday of next week. It doesn't have to be super long. You can do like the voice memo one, or you can type it in, however you want. But if you guys would do that for me, I would greatly appreciate it. Thinking about setting your goals, getting to know each other, relying on each other. This whole idea of our mind is bigger when there's more of us, whatever it is for you. I would appreciate that. And then today, Pam had volunteered to, and it was she and I were talking before everybody got on, that it was really interesting to me how our monkey brains work, right? Like how we go into this freeze or fight. So my friend that does emotional work, she calls it fight. What is it? Fight, flight, freeze. And excuse my language, she says, or fuck, right? Like you usually pick one of those 4 things when you're in your monkey brain. And so before we kind of get started and have Pam go, but it was interesting to me how like all of a sudden, like everybody's monkey brain kind of came out and we were all nervous about getting back on calls and all sorts of fun stuff. But it was just interesting to watch. No judgment. It was just interesting. And I get it because I did the same thing. I said my vivid vision, and then I said somebody else is going to drive the bus for a couple of months, and then I decided to get back on the bus and drive. So I get it. So but before we start that, I want to go around and I'd like to hear a win, and Kathy a quick update on yesterday's surgery for Jim. So whoever would like to start.
I feel like Kathy has to start with that.
Okay.
They couldn't do it all. They could only do a fourth of the surgery.
Oh wow.
Yeah. He's in too much pain and they're gonna reschedule it with an anesthesiologist there. If only.
Have they rescheduled it yet, or they're still in the process?
No, and it's kind of stressing me out because they're saying a couple weeks, and I'm like, 2 weeks. I'm going to be in Chicago for my sister's breast cancer surgery, And in 3 weeks, it's Evie's spring break, and we're going to go up to Dallas to celebrate Rebecca graduating from college. So I'm like, uh, trying
Maybe
to
you can call him
energetically.
tomorrow and say, can we get this scheduled? And here's the week that works best for me. Can we do it that week?
Yeah.
Well, I can call the dentist, but then like the dentist is gonna say something to Jim. Well, we could have done it last week, but Kathy called. And he'll be like, "What?"
Oh, so they're calling him to schedule it all. That was my,
I
was
assume. Yeah, yeah. They don't have my phone number.
so a win.
Um, um,
And we can come back to you if you need be.
yeah, come back to me.
Michelle, what's a win for you?
Yeah, I am just getting all of the final details for my retreat done, so that feels good. And then I've had 3 really impactful coaching calls today, that have really moved the needle for my clients. So that it's just been really fun. It's been a really good day.
That's awesome.
So, yeah. All right. How about you, Pam?
So my win is I just did our state of the company meeting that we kept pushing because nobody had time to like sit for 2 hours because we just had so much client work in January and beginning part of February. So we had our meeting today and it went super, super well. The team was really engaged and participated in everything, and it was just really, really nice. It was, me sharing kind of our vision and our values and talking through those and where we've been financially as a company and where we're going, and shared kind of like who are our top 5 clients, just or top 10 clients, to show that like every team has some of the top clients. Nobody's got more weight than the others, and went through like revenue by team essentially, and just kind of gave them some clarity and some transparency on some of those things. Because I think if you don't give that to your team, then they make assumptions and they're often wrong. So giving them some of that gives them, I feel like knowledge is power, and it just empowers them to feel like, they really are a part of something bigger. And anyway, we revealed our new logos and did that kind of stuff and talked about
Nice.
where we're headed. So yeah, that was cool. And then
Did
my
working on your
second win,
Vivid Vision help with that?
a little bit, yeah, because it was kind of like forcing me to think about some of those things, and by putting it on paper, I was able to more easily like describe it to my team, right? Because I had thought it through and written it down. And yeah, I asked my director of operations, I was like, what did you think of the meeting? And she was like, oh, she's like, I loved the format. I thought it flowed really well. I thought it was great. Everybody was engaged and participating. And so, yeah.
Awesome. And then you were going to say one other thing. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, that I actually have something to share with you guys today, because as of about an hour and a half ago, I did not. Other than what I had put in my like actual write-up of the vision, but I didn't have a presentation for you. So
Well, and I was going to say, if nothing else, it was what you just did with your old team, right?
yeah. So I mean, I'm happy to share both if you guys want to see it, but I won't walk you through both. But yeah, it was cool to basically, I started when we did an all hands retreat last January. I had a little PowerPoint presentation, so I kind of started with that because it's the same. Really, the vision really hasn't changed much, and our core values haven't changed. So was talking through those things, and then some of the graphs, and then I added a whole bunch more visuals that the team hadn't seen before, and put our new accountability chart in there and stuff. And so, yeah,
That's great.
super cool. Mm-hmm.
Well, a win for me before I turn over to Kathy is I signed the 4th person up now for the next mastermind, which I'm super stoked about. She owns a vacation rental company in Austin, Texas, which is kind of cool. And yeah. Woo! And I can do that with my
I wish
Pink
I could make those things
Floyd,
happen, but mine
right?
doesn't work.
Like mimicking my Pink Floyd t-shirt.
I was
And
doing Longhorns for Austin. That's
oh
where I
yeah.
went to
Mine,
college.
mine didn't do anything.
Um, and then I had another one and I just lost it.
So
Oh,
repeat the first one.
the first one was I signed someone for the next mastermind.
She's from Austin and
Yeah, I don't know.
Not
sorry.
triggering anything.
Oh, and I'm super excited because we are going to do some work in April in Costa Rica about the energy of money and thinking about how, like, the metaphysical part of money and the dreams and the desires, and the physical part of money and some of that. So I'm super stoked. I've been getting up every morning at 5 a.m. studying, getting stuff prepared, and it's like inspiring me to no end. So I can't wait to share that with y'all. Kathy.
Um, I I guess my win is I started clearing on that building.
Yeah.
Um, I had the deal, and then I thought I was going to start working on it, and I couldn't get myself to work on it, and thought my head talk was all like I'm lazy, I can't do it, all the stuff, the reasons why I couldn't clear it. And I think it was I needed to clear what I cleared with you guys on Tuesday before I could go in there. Because if I go into that space not clear, I'll
Mhm.
just carry a lot of entities with me and stuff, and resonate with them instead of me influencing them. They'll influence me. But I went in there and I started working on it. It's a big project. I'm like, I should have charged more.
Okay, take that learning, because I think that's a true
Mm,
statement, but
Yeah,
in a good way, because it's a learning for you. So now
yeah,
you have evidence in your evidence bank. That's
yeah,
awesome, Kathy.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Mm,
so excited for that. And it's funny because Sarah was listening to just like the first part of the call as she was like making sure everything was right. And we did the wins, and you talked about doing a clearing on a building. And she said to me
mm.
today during our meeting, she's like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to call Kathy and understand this a bit more, because I know a lot of people that I'm gonna refer her to.
Awesome, awesome. Because I love the work on clearing buildings and
Yeah.
houses and stuff for rentals. And I was like, huh. As I'm doing the building, I'm like, I need to clear my condo and get that rented.
Yes, you do, girl. Uh-huh.
Because I just like, I'm like, what do you want it to feel like, And it's like, I'm like, I should have done that for me, but it's like hers is she's converting it from this uh building that was like for drug users and prostitutes, and he bought the building like 20 years ago, and it's right downtown Traverse City, and it used to be a bad area, and everything's really nice now except for this hotel. So it's gonna be a perfect like Airbnb. So I'm like, like how we were gonna feel in Costa Rica is how I'm imagining it's gonna
Huh,
feel, and
cool.
trying to clear anything that's in the way of that. And so it's a big project. Go from drug dealer prostitutes to high-end Airbnb. And the friend that's her husband owns it. Um, she's very sensitive to energy. We were actually business partners before. And she goes in and she's like, I already can feel the difference. Like I talked to her today.
Mhm.
So, and she's
Right. So it has to
redecorating it. So
count as a
she's getting the
testimonial.
physical world, to match it. But she's like, I go in there and it just doesn't feel different, which is why she hired me. So,
That's great. Jot some of those things down, Kathy, as testimonials.
all right.
And part of why I say that, and then we'll stop and go into the vivid vision, is one of the things you and I, and you've talked with this group about, is sometimes the coaching piece feels like a push to you instead of like that pull forward. This to me feels like this like thing inside you that's kind of like pulling you towards it. And I'm like, oh yeah, you could coach over here, but then you could, like, this is a
Yeah, this is fun.
untapped territory that you're enjoying.
This is a part of me. I was like, just one person, but this building, I'm affecting so many people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, and then we'll talk more about asking for testimonials from her and referrals and all that good stuff.
She's already written me one for other stuff.
Good.
Mm.
Awesome. Okay. Miss Pam, take it away, girl. I guess I need to give you the capability to share your screen if you want to share your screen.
Mhm. So I'm just going to preface this to say that this is something. It's not the final product.
And I'm going to recommend to you that you don't even have to preface it. This is a safe
Well,
environment.
I'm a perfectionist a little bit. I don't like to share things that aren't done, and I don't feel like this is done, but it's something. So
It's
something
the
is better
start.
than nothing. It is a start.
Yep.
So
It's better
hang
than
on, I've
mine,
got
so
to.
mine's not even half baked. So
Well, I have mine all written out. I just didn't have it in a presentation form, and I am not a graphic designer, y'all. So just
Okay,
um,
it's all good. There's no judgment on what it looks like. Wow, that's beautiful. Look at me saying no judgment. And then I'm like, wow, that's beautiful.
so this is our new logo.
Love
So
it.
the old one is behind me up here, and you can see kind of
Yeah,
how everything is a little bit more vivid.
like it.
little brighter. The blue is a little brighter. We've got more colors. We're changing everything. So welcome to On the Books Vivid Vision. All right. So what we do, we exist to guide growing startups through the startup life cycle so that they raise more money, scale faster, and make more money when they leave. Meaning they give more money back to their investors, they put more money in their own pockets, everybody's happy. We take a very holistic approach to finance, providing both accounting and people services. So people services in the form of payroll, HR, management, style things, processes, things like that. We speak our clients' language and help them focus on what matters instead of speaking at them at a bunch of finance talk. They trust that they can rely on us for what they need in a timely and accurate manner, and having the data to make decisions that we can help them interpret, right? They don't have to just get the numbers and figure it out on their own. We focus on the so what, right? It's not just, okay, here's your numbers. So what? What does that mean? How is that going to help you knowing those numbers?
Yeah. And Pam, I'm going to stop for just a second. Go back.
Yeah.
I know we didn't have you ask what you wanted out of this, but one of the things that I'm going to recommend to you and that the book recommends is just read it word for word. Because ultimately, eventually, if you handed this to somebody, it would self-explain itself.
Mm.
So if it feels weird, that's fine, but you don't have to redo the slide, but because to me, it says what you were saying, but try to read it word for word and see how it goes. And I know you're not a perfectionist, you just have behaviors that lead to wanting to be perfect.
Yes.
And so it's going to feel uncomfortable to you, but because you feel like it's not completely done, but I think it's a lot more done than what you think it is.
All right. I didn't write it with that in mind, so that
That's
will be difficult for me because I usually put just like notes on a slide, not everything I want to say.
Yeah.
So that's going to be hard for me. So,
Okay, well, let's go through the next one and see what happens, and then you can embellish if you need to.
okay. So our culture, we are not your typical accounting firm. We focus on growth, both internally and for our clients. Our team members are clear on their roles and the rhythms of our company, and they thrive because of it. We believe that knowledge is power, and we want everyone on our team to have the power to leave, but the desire to stay. We share in our successes, and that includes monetary gains. The more On the Books makes, the more our employees make in the form of salary increases, bonuses, and profit share. When we do something cool, get positive feedback from a client, or learn something new, we share it with the team.
So, because you're the first one, I'm using you as a model. I hope you don't mind.
Yeah, totally fine.
So, I'm going to ask Lachelle and Kathy, do you feel like you have a pretty good idea of the type of culture that Pam's firm has for her people?
I do. I feel like she's um uh focused on communicating what she wants so that they can be left alone to do what they need to do.
Yeah.
Not the if there's what's the opposite of micromanager, like
Yeah. And so, Lachelle, did you have something you wanted to add to it, or you good?
No, I think it's great. It's really obvious how much you empower your team to feel like a team. And it's not a top-down heavy culture that you've built, but it's one of, it almost feels like a family of people who want to continue to show up in their best, as just a general kind of rule for the people who work there. And I think that you do a great job of modeling that, and you hire people who also have that value. That's what I'm getting from this.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So Pam, I asked them to do that because I wanted to see if that matched without saying anything, right? Because as you try to pull yourself out of the business more, this is going to need to speak for itself, and other people in your team, by just reading it word for word, will be able to know and have a feel for that. And clients that you may share this with will they'll know. So did that cover a lot of the stuff that you would have said that's not on the slide?
Yeah, I mean, it covers the gist of it. Yeah. There's a whole lot more written, but
yeah. And part of where I go with that, right, is like, there are going to be times you're going to pontificate more on your culture and have more verbiage around it. But for someone to get an overview of what your business stands for, what it's about, the culture, the team, why you make money, the purpose, all that kind of stuff, do you feel like them saying that kind of captures that? Because like right now we're way up here, right? Like we're in the helicopter, we're not down in the weeds of it. And like, please be honest, because if it doesn't, then that's okay too. But does it feel like that's what you were trying to convey was captured?
Yeah, I feel like Lachelle pretty much nailed it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that is exactly how we, and Kathy saying the opposite of micromanaging. I don't know what that word is, but
Empowering.
Empowering. Yeah,
Yeah.
really, that's it. Because I tell everybody that when we hire them, like, I'm not going to micromanage you. Your supervisor is not going to micromanage you. We're all adults. You know, your tasks are, if you need help, reach out. But like, you're going to get the job done, and we're going to give you the resources that you need to make sure that you feel supported and have what you need. But yeah.
So both of them nailed it, different parts of it. And so, so awesome job communicating that. So see, it's perfect, and you didn't even mean for it to be. I'm really digging those slides. Ooh, a blue martini.
So our vibe, we are your business mixologists, giving you a magical blend of accounting expertise and bartending wisdom. We're laid back, friendly, and knowledgeable, and just might tell you a joke or two. We have a get it done mentality and an excellent reputation in the startup and VC communities. Oops, typo.
So you tell me, Pam, but it might be kind of fun to have all of us comment back to you kind of what we got from this, if everybody's open to doing that, to give you some idea of, is this what you meant to say? And for me, I get the impression that you're fun and your business.
That's it.
And there's a way to combine both.
Yeah, she's the one that wants to get the work done and then go out to the boat and not think about it anymore.
Right.
And I get the sense that you're so confident in your expertise that you've allowed yourself to be able to bring in this side of your personality, that you're not having to prove anything to anybody. You're so confident in who you are that you get to let yourself, into this space. And I also think that your ideal clients are people who might be, just more attracted to the hip vibe that this is trying to get. So
yeah, exactly. Those are exactly the people that we want to attract. So that's what we're trying to put out, right? We want to attract people who don't take themselves too seriously, or, I mean, like, obviously business is a serious thing, but you don't have to be all business all the time. You don't have to be boring to be
Well,
knowledgeable.
and it seems to fit because the venture capitalists are gravitating to that as far as their personality. They're risk takers, they're innovators, they don't want the old school leather chair, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point, Kathy. And I think about the law of polarity here, right? Like showing that both can exist at the same time. Like that's like the fun and the business go together.
Yeah. And you'll see on the last slide what some of the feedback we've had from clients.
Okay, cool.
So our brand new brand, and I know this is supposed to be 3 years from now, right? But it
Yes.
is now too. On Books is a national brand that is considered the go-to accounting firm for VC-backed startups. We're foundation builders with a reputation for excellence that translates to bigger exits. We have a bright, clean, colorful logo that mimics the style of our ideal clients' logos. Our website has a laid-back, friendly feel that appeals to the people who want an accountant that they can relate to. And we don't do a lot of traditional advertising because our reputation keeps the referrals coming. We do get some additional exposure through guest appearances on podcasts, typo, and writing blog posts.
Cool. Yeah, and that's part of why reading it out loud, right? Because then you see some things in there too. And I would almost recommend to Pam, like type out VC and then like type out what the word means and then put VC in parentheses, because if you're sharing this with people like Kathy and Lachelle and I who don't understand your vernacular, but we can then go off and share, right? And go, oh, this is what Pam's all about. Let me introduce, you need to meet Pam because her company on the books will do what you need done, right? Like, so even from a referral.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. No, that's good feedback. Thank you.
So Lachelle,
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, I love it. I think that it's like Debbie said, it's a nice contrast, right? Like on the books, yet it's also playful and fun and not too stuffy. So it's like I get the sense of like, okay, on the books, I get what it is that you do, but it's a different feel. And I like that a lot. I think it's done very well to attract your ideal client. I love the pictures. It's cool. Pam, I really.
Kathy, what about you?
My mind just went blank. Yeah, sorry.
That's okay. That's going to happen
That's
some.
okay.
I think about what's that new town that is it Dubai? Is Dubai the one now that no, where's the one that's in the
With the
The
super tall
Las
buildings?
Vegas, the Las Vegas of the Middle East.
yeah, is that
Yeah.
Dubai?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So it feels like a Dubai with like Midwest, right? Like meaning like
Interesting.
this idea of it's new, it's exciting, it's like cool. And then there's also this, hey, we also know we take care of business over here and we can coexist. So similar to what the culture, was. So yeah. I love the thing about reputation too. And anywhere in here, Pam, that you feel like there's some things missing that we're not able to repeat back to you about what the slide says, just jot that down and then you can add some of it.
Okay. Yeah. Because I was, like I said, with everything else, I say a lot more than what I would put on the slide. So
yeah, and that's where the Vivid is so different because it is meant to be able to articulate word for word what you're trying to get across. And again, it's at that high level helicopter view, not like down in the complete weeds. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So our team is educated and dedicated. They love working for On the Books because it's different than any place they've worked before. They feel heard, included, encouraged, and worthy. We don't hire typical accountants who just want to crunch numbers all day. We find people who will take an interest in their client's success and want to help them get there. They are natural people pleasers with skills to back it up.
Thoughts from the crowd.
It just, to me, it matches the clients you work for, is that that kind of personality. You're just being a match for them,
Mhm.
you know, like out of the book, off on the books, but out of the box, OTB.
Ooh, I like that. On the
I
books.
know, that was kind of cool. On the books, but out of the box. Any thoughts, Lachelle?
Yeah, no, I mean, I like what
I know
Kathy said.
there's
Like
not a
they're
lot to this slide.
out of the box thinkers.
Yeah.
I really like that. Because that's
Yeah.
who you right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, one client is not the same as the next client. You know, it's not like we work with
Yeah.
Mhm.
all restaurants, and a
Yeah.
restaurant is a restaurant is a restaurant. It's like all our clients are different.
And I almost
Yes.
like adding a sentence underneath worthy of saying, and our team is empowered to think outside the box, which is using your word earlier.
Yep.
Happy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And a question I would have for you is, are they natural people pleasers or are they natural, and I
Get
don't know
the
the
job
right,
doners.
right, like, you know, like they get shit done, but they also will ask the right questions to make you think. And the only reason I bring that up, Pam, is there's a lot of connotation around people pleasing. Okay, are they just going to roll over and do whatever I tell them to do? Or are they going to challenge me when they know that it's something that we should probably go down a different road? But you know your clients better. So if it's better for them
Yeah, I
to,
don't love the people pleaser word either, but
Yeah.
So what were you trying to say about them then?
like
They
that
naturally
they
do what?
genuinely care and want their client, like, you know, they genuinely are taking that interest in our client success. They want them to succeed. They want to be a part of the process. They want to do everything right for the right reasons.
I like what you just said, right? We find people who are who take natural interest
Mhm.
in our client success and are dedicated to help them get there.
all with the skills to back it up.
Yeah. Okay. I know.
They are empowered to OTB, think outside the box.
And
That's actually a good like tagline. On the books, you're out of the box thinkers.
how
OTB, TOTB.
about that?
We will find people who take an interest in their client success and are dedicated to help them get there with skills to back it up.
Can I add a suggestion of one word?
Yeah.
People who will take a genuine interest,
Mm.
just because you said genuine.
Mhm.
And let me ask you a question. And like, I think it's good where it's at, but I might also suggest you to just give some thought to part of what you're talking about is they think of themselves as part of your client's team.
Mhm.
Right. So maybe somewhere in there, and I don't know the right word or where that's at, just jot that down. Like somewhere in there, is there a way to say we find people who take a genuine interest in their client's success and want to be considered, you know, like, I don't know if that's not the right thing, but like somehow incorporate something in there around so much so that they see themselves as part of your team. Right. The
I don't
clients.
know that I would ever want to say they see themselves as part of the team, because that's something that we sell to clients. Like, we will be a part of your team, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we only want to work with people who want us to be part of the team.
Yeah. So I would put that in here. Like, and it may be in a different spot that you have it,
Yeah.
but just give some thought to, you know, because yeah. And maybe it doesn't need to be there because you have it somewhere else.
Okay.
I just know that's an important component for you.
Yeah. So I just threw this in here to share with you guys to give you an idea of where we're headed. Some of this, like, this is currently the people who fill these seats, right? And I didn't go all the way down, but currently we have 3 teams, and I'm basically the director of accounting. We will eventually grow somebody into that role, and then these are future. This team we're going to add this year, and then this will probably be next year.
Cool.
So this is just a bonus slide for you guys.
And if I were somebody that didn't know, what would M&A be?
Mergers and acquisitions. Yeah. So again, this was part of our internal slide series that I just threw in here for you guys.
Totally. Just something
Because sometimes it's easier to like envision like exactly like okay, I again didn't have time to put everything in here. I actually have it written down like who are like what are all the roles that we have on our team
Yeah.
and those kinds of things. But I didn't
And
have
again,
time to,
we're not looking at perfection, you know, but just
yeah.
as you get ready to do it, just take a look at that, because I think this is awesome. You and your your identity is not a perfectionist, but like the tendency to want it to be perfect. I think it's perfect the way it is. These are just little tweaks, right?
Yeah. Well, normally I would spend much more time on it.
But you didn't need to. I love
I
it.
spent an hour. So this one I forgot to put a heading on. These are our services.
Cool.
So they kind of speak for themselves. I don't know if you want me to read these out, but these are either things we offer currently or will be offering at the, in 3 years when we're talking like, 2027.
Yeah, so
Currently,
2027, you're presenting
yeah.
this, and these are the things that you offer.
Right.
Cool.
Currently, oops, there's another typo. Oops. Community and education, mergers and acquisitions. We don't do any of that right this second. And or people, we do some people advisory, but it's not its own thing yet. So there's that.
Cool.
This I threw in here again. This is something I put in the slideshow from earlier today that I showed the team, just kind of our revenue by industry. So when we're talking about how we make money, this is how we make money. This is where we make money from. And this will change as we add new revenue sources, right? It'll be accounting and HR and mergers and acquisitions. So we'll have different streams of revenue, not just revenue by industry. But currently, this is all I had to show.
What do you want your model to look like? Is it what 2024 is showing when you think about percentages?
Yeah, I mean, the percentages are this particular one, the technology will continue to grow. I don't know how much the other three will grow because this is what we're targeting.
Yeah.
So this
I'm
is
just curious if you were thinking like 2024, 2025, 2026, 2027, that it would look the same. The numbers will be different on the left, obviously, but like would the same kind of percentage be there in the same way for that model?
yeah, probably. It'll, like I said, we'll just have a new graph because it'll have revenue by revenue stream, right? That
Yeah.
service offerings instead of just all accounting.
I love it.
So again, forward thinking, I should have done a 2027 projection, but I did not.
Stop being
Okay. What our clients say about us. These come straight from our website that clients have written. On the Books has been an indispensable part of my team over the last several years. They've been extremely attentive to my company's needs and most importantly, take ownership and solve issues. They have helped me navigate accounting, payroll, and more. That's from one of our current clients.
That's awesome.
My experience with Pam and On the Books has been absolutely wonderful. Pam's exceptional knowledge in accounting is matched by her remarkable patience and availability, going above and beyond to assist us. What truly sets her apart is her dedication to efficiency and her delightful personality. One of the things that I'll read the rest and I'll tell you. I met Pam and her team when my company acquired a client at first. The acquisition and post-acquisition integration went very smoothly as the team delivered a clean set of books and a set of defined processes and controls. Working with On the Books is an absolute pleasure. They're tech forward, always professional, and a group of very knowledgeable, nice people.
That's awesome.
I realize there's some typos in all of that. That comes from a guy that is currently working as a CFO for two of the clients that we're working with. One we brought him into and the other he brought us into. So he's a big referral partner of ours. So thoughts on if you think this reflects the vibe and the culture that we want our clients to feel?
Kathy or Lachelle, anything you've got? Oh.
You're on mute,
Yeah.
Lachelle.
Sorry, my kids came home from school, so
Oh.
yeah, it's awesome, Kathy, or Kathy, Pam. It's awesome. I'm like looking at Kathy and I'm saying Pam. Okay.
Yeah.
So, no, it's really great.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's good. I've taken a lot of notes for myself, so I really appreciate you going first.
I got to be the guinea pig.
Yeah. And Pam, my only suggestion to you would be is, because these are awesome, is taking a look at particularly the last two, that if in 3 years from now you want to be a little more separated from the business, can you
Mhm.
create a quote that you wish to hear? And it might just be, my experience with On the Books has been absolutely wonderful. Their exceptional knowledge in accounting, like it might just be changing a few of those, because
Mhm.
what this says is you're still going to be in it working with clients.
Or instead of
Right. And
Pam,
that's what
the
I started
team.
to say when I got halfway through it. I was going to make that caveat and I was like, no, I'll finish reading first.
Yeah. Well,
But
and
I
that's
did notice as I was typing these out, I was like, crap, these all say Pam. I don't want them to say Pam. I want them just to say On the Books.
great awareness. And that's
yeah.
why we do this exercise, right? Because then you're like, oh yeah. So just take the quotes and, shift them slightly to be then what you want that to be, as if it was 2027 already.
Mhm.
Yeah. Because you could even say, I met with the team when my company acquired a client. The acquisition, like you
Yeah,
could
I could replace Pam and On the Books and Pam and her team with just On the Books.
Yeah. Yeah. Or the team at On the Books, right? My
Right.
experience with the team at On the
Yep.
Books or whatever. Yeah, just so that in your subconscious, right, it continues to push you into that place where you want to be and kind of pulls you forward versus keeping you in that spot.
Yep.
Yeah. Awesome. Woohoo! This is fun.
So that's it. That's all I got for you guys.
That's great. That's
Awesome.
great.
So what I would love to know is, do you feel like I left anything? I did not go into the marketing piece. I just did not have time to do that today as I was working on this. But aside from that, and I did the financial outlook, but I didn't really address like, how does your company make money other than, our revenue by industry, but that's because it was easy to steal that slide. So, but do you feel like there's anything left out that like you wish I had elaborated on more, or like a piece that isn't clear?
I think you hit on a couple of them that I would have said to you, like think about, why is it that you make money, right? Like not just the projections. And then I would put a slide on there. Okay, what's next? What's in 2030?
Okay.
Right? Just like two or three. And I mean, they can be funny too. So that when you like mine, I'm like, oh, is Debbie finally dating? Like, you can make some funny ones in there. I said put something in there about like a chocolate bar that has no calories, right? So you can put some funny things in there, but also like it shows that you're thinking ahead to some of that next. Because even as you have thought about things 3 years out, like we start to put these things into play before the third, like you're already doing some of the things, like you're starting to make progress into some of those things. And that's part of the purpose of the 3-year vivid vision, is because then you kind of quantum leap yourself into some of these things faster than what you thought you would. So just jot out a couple of things, like throw some spaghetti on the wall, like some dreams that you have, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Lachelle or Kathy, anything that you would like to know more about Pam's business that you don't know if it was really covered?
No, I mean, I had a brain fart on the brand. And maybe I don't understand maybe like what maybe the assignment was. Um, so
On
I
for
don't
the
know.
brand slide, you mean?
Yeah. Like,
So the branding questions were, There's the vibe. What is your brand and what does it stand for? Right. That's where we got like the go-to accounting firm for venture capital backed startups. That's kind of our brand. And then the rest of it is like, what does your marketing look like? Right. So I included a little bit of that, like talking about our logo and our website, additional exposure.
And then a lot of the marketing is like basically word of mouth. Your reputation.
So we really have never so far done a lick of actual advertising. So
okay, I guess that was my confusion, confusing brand, marketing, logo all into one.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get your brand. I can feel it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And it does have this like, I keep thinking about like the Hunger Games and the city, right? Like the bright colors and like the excitement and all the like moving and shaking in a good way, right? Like not what that was depicting in the whole like movie, but this whole idea of things are
Not
moving
children
and
killing
shaking.
children.
No, but like it's that moving and shaking and like we're constantly learning and push like having it move you forward, like almost like constant movement in a good way, right? Like not the chaos movement, but in a good way was what I was kind of feeling, even from the look and feel of your slides.
Yeah, so I want to share this slide with you guys. So this was part of my presentation today, right? This was the old, right? Fairly boring. Like the font was a little bit whimsical, but like really kind of the colors are muted. It's kind of boring, I feel like. I don't know. And then this is much more fresh and colorful and vibrant. And so I just feel like it has a really different feel.
Well, and I want to point out to you that no matter which way you turn your logo, to me, it looks like somebody going, ha ha, I've arrived.
Yes, that's exactly what I thought. I was like, it feels like people reaching out to each other, like three people, kind of everybody reaching out to each other, like, like embracing, you know, inclusive.
And I kind of see this like I've arrived, right? Like if I'm a company that I'm trying to get started and get investors and all of that kind of stuff, I want to set it up the right way so that I can be like, yeah, we are here and we're moving forward, right?
Yeah. So if you look at a lot of our client websites in the technology and life sciences, they've all gone to this style. And so we wanted to appeal mostly to what their eyes are already looking for, because they've gone through their own branding, and that's, you know, you relate to things that are similar to yours or similar to your own tastes. And so we thought we would, you know, bring it into 2024.
I love it. I love it. So my like loving feedback to all of you, and Lachelle, we got to get you on the books to share yours too, but is like now take this experience, and this is an evolving, like I've even recently added and changed a little bit to mine because it's a working document, right? Like it's not something that's going to be stagnant and stay there, but it starts this excitement piece of it and gets you, like you walked through it really nervous about it, but it said a whole lot more than what you thought it would, the way it was.
Yeah.
Right. And so then it's about keeping it in front of you and keeping it in front of your team, because particularly for you, keeping yourself up here, because then it helps drive your decisions as you go forward. And that's going to happen subconsciously, even because as you've worked on this, you've already started to move towards this. Yeah. Way to go.
Sure.
Woo! Now it's not doing it.
No, it doesn't recognize your hands. Oh, there it is.
Yeah. So thank you for being courageous and going first. And then next Thursday will be Carrie and Kathy, and Lachelle will be down in Costa Rica hosting her own retreat down there. So good luck to you. And you don't need luck, but sending you lots of positive energy and yeah.
That's
and
exciting.
Super exciting. So Lachelle, take a look at the calendar and let me know what Thursday you would like to present your vivid vision, and we'll get you on the books. See what I did there?
Great.
On the books.
And
See?
the circle is complete.
Outside the box, on the books.
Yep, that's right. That's
I
right.
think it's funny that it's a box with on the books. And you're taking the new logo out of the box.
Out of the box, that's right.
Really true. I see something with that. So anyway, you guys, thank you. That was fantastic. Next week, normally we wouldn't have met because it's the 5th Thursday, but we are meeting in place of the one a couple weeks ago when I was in Florida. And so Carrie and Kathy will present theirs. Kathy, good luck. Hopefully they will reschedule Jim's surgery before you have to go to your sister's.
Yeah,
Um,
or after. I think
Yeah.
the doctor said it's probably better that there's this gap because it was so infected and inflamed, it'll cool off a little bit.
good,
So,
good, good. And
Also,
then
for those of you who have employees, Employee Appreciation Day is March 1st. Just throwing that out
for that,
there.
thank you, thank you.
We're using a new thing this year where employees will be able to pick out their own gift.
Nice.
That we set the limit, and they can go shopping basically and pick whatever they want. And I don't think they'll be able to see necessarily the prices, but they can choose like whatever's under the amount that we set. They can choose from, and it includes shipping and everything, and they get to pick
That's
something.
awesome.
So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
I'm excited.
Yeah, thank you for that. I have like my whole team's birthdays, their anniversaries, everything are like all in the same like 2 months. So credit card, we're
So
good.
throwing an Employee Appreciation Day on March 1st.
Nice one.
Yes.
Nice one. Okay, my friends, thank you for everything. And I'm gonna
Yes,
go back
thank you guys for all your feedback.
all of your flight information, but I might have to reach out if I don't have it, if I can't find it in our WhatsApp. So with that, everyone have a great week. Lachelle, have a fantastic time next week, and I can't wait to see pictures.
Me
And
too.
we'll see y'all later.
Bye.